Are we fucking ready, boys?
Fuck it.
Let's fucking get this, baby!
Yeah. Okay, I think
Oh, God. Me and Micah are both sick. Don't expect too much, my grillas. This is gonna be real touch and go here.
WHITE coming with the heat.
Welcome to the Grillcast, the only podcast in the whole entire world dedicated to radical centrism. I am your host, Orion. Joining me, as always, is Micah. What's up, buddy?
Hey, yeah, guys. Sorry about our extended absence once again. Ever since the Epstein flight logs came out, we've both just been inexplicably ill, just unable to record. It's been a really crazy coincidence. But anyways, it's good to be back.
It is good to be back. And we also have with us a guest known as CreamyDogOrgasm. It's disgusting. What's your deal, buddy? How are you doing?
What's my deal? I guess y'all will see. How am I doing? I skipped class for this.
Nice.
You broke my balls a little bit, but I'm here, and this is my chance to get famous. So thank you. I know you guys have a lot of viewers, and I figure I got to make my Instagram public now.
There you go, buddy. This is the springboard for so many people's online careers. As electronic celebrities, I like gracing others. Lessers with the chance to reach the echelons that Micah and I have reached with.
Just think
this
about
program.
all the people that had their 15 minutes of fame, came on the show, and then went on to do nothing. Just consider that.
Yeah,
but 15 minutes. That's a lot of time. I can link my stream up to 15 minutes.
Yeah, there you go, buddy. So are you actually like a furry and like a dog fetishist? What's your deal?
I kind of don't want to answer honestly because I feel like that's no fun. I won't give any answers to that, but I will say that I will express myself in ways that upset people because it brings me pleasure.
You're gonna fit in great here.
I understand that fully, my friend. So, this is your shot. Don't fuck it up. This is your make it or break it
No pressure.
moment. No pressure.
If I fuck it up, I'll kill myself live on your show.
Okay, sweet. I've always wanted someone to do that. I feel like we've had a couple guys come close to it, but that's neither here nor there. So show announcements. It's been a while since we've been on the air, gracing you with our presence, and we've had a couple of developments. First of all, I'd like to shout out our Grilla of the Year 2023, and that would be Kilo Mike. Kilo Mike, what a cool guy. He sent me a premium bottle of bourbon. It was a Knob Creek Single Barrel Select, 120 proof. I mean, wow. This shit will kick you straight in the balls and put some hair on your chest. I'm actually enjoying some right now at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's really helping with my throat. And that was just such a good thing for him to do. It makes me wonder, why do the other fans not send me alcohol? I need it to live. It's like gassing up a car. I need this to operate. So it's kind of selfish that if you want more than one episode a month, you kind of gotta kick in your part.
Step
too,
your game
right?
up, you guys. Here we're trusting you with our PO boxes here. Okay.
Right. Ooh. Wow. I just took a sip. That is some strong shit. So. Yeah, thank you, Kilo Mike. Shout out, my man. And I like to also shout out our Gumroad Grillisha members. Over the year of 2023, they brought us to a cool $800 in revenue, which is great, which is awesome. And many of you who kicked into this, who were a part of the base Gumroad Grillisha, are probably saying to yourself, you promised monthly bonus episodes, and then you stopped doing them in March. You haven't put out an episode for almost a month. Why the hell am I still paying for this? What am I getting out of it? And that's a fair question. And to them, I'd say this: we have, and I like to announce this, we have a massive project that is currently in the works. Massive, far bigger than anything we've ever done on this show.
It's gonna blow your socks off. It's going to change how you think about reality.
Yeah. Yeah, this is gonna be the thing that transforms us, that really elevates us to the next level. And it's solely possible because of the financial support that we've received from you. I don't want to let too much slip about it. I'm keeping my lips sealed here. But what I can tell you is that 2024 is gonna be the year of the grill. And it's all thanks to the money and the belief in Micah and I that this will all come to fruition. So thanks to all of you, Gumroad Grillas. We won't let you down. We will not let you down. This is going to be huge, massive. And the project should be ready sometime in March. It's currently underway.
So yeah, consider upping your donation too. That might speed the process along. It might allow us to go even bigger than what we've already managed to accomplish without spoiling
fucking
anything.
pay pig losers. Give me your money.
No,
they're not losers. Like most pay pigs, I
They're
look
winners.
at them. Dude, I'll look at other communities and their pay pigs. I'm like, you guys are faggots. Like, yo, I'm gonna pay $5 so you'll read my super chat. I mean, that's gay.
What's that about? Yeah, $5 just to answer a question.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But in our community, this money is given for the prestige of being official Grillisha General or perhaps Foot Soldier, whatever tier you choose. There's the prestige involved, and there's the fact that all the money you've donated is being used to fund this massive, earth-shaking project that we're working on. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that.
Enough of this hype, though. Let's get on with the program.
Yes, there's a lot of hype going on for Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's client list being released. Oh my God, we're gonna get them now, you guys. Watch out, the most famous, rich, and powerful people on the planet. We're gonna get you. We caught you red-handed, guys. We have the list now. I don't know. Here's the thing to me about the Epstein list.
It's kind of a nothing burger. Yeah.
Nothing burger.
That's what I was thinking too. We're on the same wavelength here. Like, why are people so obsessed about this? Like,
exactly.
What? Like, who cares?
Nothing new
cares?
came out.
Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here. Seriously, unironically. What Epstein did, it was horrible. I think we can all agree on that. But do you really think every single person who ever associated with him was involved in these nefarious activities? I don't know. We don't want to go on a witch hunt on innocent people.
Exactly. Otherwise, you'd be interrogating and doxing and abusing every sad sap that ever worked under him or had any short-term interaction with him or business dealing. And it's just not worth it. It's just not worth the time.
It's just not worth it.
Have you considered that witch hunting and doxing is really fun? I mean, whether they're innocent or guilty, you still get the pleasure of ruining someone's life.
In most cases, I'd agree with that. But in this particular case, it's just so egregious. The accusations, from innocent people who maybe they just wanted to go to a sweet mansion on an island. Like, let's say you got an invite, right? And you're like, oh yeah, you can like come here. There's like a private beach. You can party it up, have some fancy.
There's gonna be pizza.
There's gonna be pizza.
Cheese pizza, yeah.
Maybe you didn't even know that there were children there. Maybe you just hear, based island mansion party. I'm gonna check that out. Like, let's not castigate every single person who decided to show up. Besides, bros, like, do you really think there weren't any 18 or older women who were trafficked there, which makes it perfectly fine and legal?
That's a good point.
18-year-old women still can't consent. You have to be at least 40.
That's true.
That is true. That is true. Their mental faculties have not yet developed. But there's probably legal aged women there too. So not everyone who was there was a pedophile. I mean, come on, guys. Okay,
that's fair. I think it's also important to note that you got to consider the feelings of the people who thought they were friends with Epstein but were never invited to bang kids. Like, I don't consider myself a pedophile. I'm saying I've never, I'm not about that shit. Right? I have my own niche. I'm just saying, like, my feelings would be kind of hurt if it came out, he had this big list of people, like 500 people that he thought was cooler than I was. Like, I'm cool. I'm not that kind of cool, but at least give me an invite and turn it down. I wouldn't tell anybody.
That's a really good point.
That is a good point. I hadn't thought about those poor people who were left off the list, who said, what? Wait a minute. That sounded like a good time, except the child raping part. Everything else sounded cool. Like, having
left out of the group
coconut.
chat.
Huh?
I said they were left out of the group chat. It always hurts.
It always hurts. And you know what? On that point, like Jeffrey Epstein, he was probably a chill dude. Like, if you ignore the child raping part, he was probably a cool guy to be friends with. You
Yeah.
know? Like, is it really reasonable to say that the only thing that made him appealing to the rich and powerful was his access to child cooter? Like, maybe he was just a cool dude.
Can I ask, what exactly what did he do? What was he known for other than child diddling?
Being a socialite. Like, I bet you could just, like, talk to him and shoot the shit about sports and cars and normal stuff. I bet he was probably a cool dude if you didn't know about all the other stuff that was going on.
Yeah, and I think using my knowledge of Disney movies, the handsome guy usually isn't that bad. So I think he's a pretty handsome fella, and part of me thinks maybe he was kind of caught up in the wrong business.
Yeah, I think Jeffrey Epstein was a victim more than anything else.
Well, I
the
don't know
fall.
that I would go that far, but I do think that I could see being ensnared by his charm and being totally not guilty of anything bad. And we will get to the list. But before we get to the list, I just want to, once again, this is really important, you guys. Being on the list does not mean that you did anything wrong or illegal, and implying as much means that you could potentially be engaging in libel and slander. You don't want to be doing crimes, you know?
I mean, Robert Downey Jr.'s on the list. Do you think Iron Man would do anything that heinous?
No, dude. Exactly. Like anyone on this list could be totally innocent. Let's not be wing cucks about this. Let's give the benefit of the doubt when possible, and even our
As we always do on the show.
we always give the benefit of the doubt and never jump to any conclusions about people that we don't like. So, before we get into this list, I'm gonna play a video of our based media apparatus backing me up and, it really instilling what I've tried to tell you all today, that just because you're on the list doesn't mean you did anything wrong. So let's give that a watch.
Court documents naming people connected to Jeffrey Epstein have been unsealed. The documents include nearly 950 pages. Last month, a federal judge ruled the names of Epstein's alleged victims and those connected to him must be made public. Epstein was indicted on federal sex trafficking charges in 2019. He later died by suicide. Publication does not imply knowledge of his alleged crimes or involvement in them. Okay,
Yeah,
Nancy,
see,
there's a lot
that's
to
what I'm
sift
trying to
through. What do
say.
you know?
There is. We are going through this right now. We have a team combating and attacking this big document release that we just got. 40 documents in total, more than, as you mentioned, 940 pages plus. We have a team going through this right now. We'll make sure to bring you updates. But here's what we do know. It's important to note that being named, as you mentioned, does not necessarily mean that someone had knowledge of or involvement in Epstein's crimes, with the documents also including the names of accusers along with potential witnesses.
Accusers and witnesses. Look, just because you're named on here doesn't mean you did anything wrong, okay? Like, the media agrees with me. They have a crack team of unpaid interns poring over these documents, and they're taking a reasonable and balanced approach, just like we are. So, I guess we'll go over some notable names on the list now and, dissect exactly what the hell is going on. So we'll start off with Bill Clinton, named over 60 times. Do you guys think that Bill Clinton could have did this? Because I don't know. I remember him shoving a cigar up a, overaged woman's pussy, not an underage woman's pussy. Like, does that sound like pedophilic behavior to you?
I know previously he prefers the body types of the exact opposite of children. So
Yeah.
I know Monica Lewinsky is a little thick. I don't know if they had kind of a fat camp on the side there on Epstein's
Look at his
Island.
wife, too,
Yeah, she's pretty busted,
She's not a little girl.
She used to be, so that's probably some evidence there. He's been banging this bitch for 40 years who was a child for 18 years, so he's probably
That's
imagining
true.
child Hillary when he hits it.
Well,
That's a good point.
that's
It's actually-
conjecture. Objection, Your Honor. To castigate a man who was once president of the United States, I mean, that's dangerous towards democracy to say this sort of thing. Like, him being on here over 60 times does not imply that he had any wrongdoing.
It's not like anybody's counting,
Yeah.
It's not like they
I
have a
think-
team literally sifting through 940 pages, counting how many times people are mentioned and brought up.
Right.
Well, how many times was pizza brought up on that document? Did they ever mention cheese pizza? Did they ever use like the secret code words that the Pizzagate schizos were talking about?
I tried not to read too much of the document. It made me scared for the future of democracy. For the judge to just unleash this evidence for people to be harassed unfairly.
I wouldn't even
and
call it
unduly.
evidence as much as I would call it a major violation of privacy.
That's a good point. And you got to consider, who's the real bad guys here? The guys on these private islands raping kids, or the people making the false accusations, and the justice system, and Derek Chauvinon, or whatever his name is.
Well, there were definitely, maybe a couple cases, but can we just say
point. He makes a good point, Orion. The people that are quote unquote exposing the Epstein clients, they're technically on the same team as Derek Chauvinist was.
Yeah. Was George Floyd convicted in court? No, he falsely accused a man, did his own vigilante justice. Now an innocent man has died, and now we have these people who happen to fly in Epstein's plane 60 times for whatever reason, we don't know, who are getting falsely accused, and Bill Clinton's life is going to get ruined.
Yeah, none of the people listening to this were on the plane or on the island. You don't know.
Exactly. And now poor, Donald Trump is getting his name taken off the Colorado ballot or whatever because of these baseless accusations and no other reason.
Yeah, no other reason. That's so true. You can see the victimization in real time. It's quite frankly an affront to our democracy. Knowledge is power, but only when the knowledge itself is fruitful and true and honest. And
I agree with that.
Yeah. Has this been fact checked? What does Snopes say about this document?
I don't know, dude. That's a good point.
That is a good point.
I know what Community Notes has to say about it, but those aren't experts. Those are fucking, just basement dwelling chuds who have nothing else to do but say, "Oh, everyone's a pedophile."
We need guys with a master's degree in journalism. Not just some random guy on Twitter.
Exactly.
You're not even 80K.
And those two things are not equivalent at all.
Yeah, those two things are completely different. So we have Alan Dershowitz on here. If you're not familiar with Alan Dershowitz, he's on the legal team for O.J. Simpson. A man who was legally declared innocent. So he did, he did good work there. Yeah. He was on Harvey Weinstein's case, Trump in his first impeachment trial. And, who else was his client? Was Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh.
Yeah, so obviously he would visit the island, right? He had to visit his client. He had to.
Of course.
I mean, he has to go check it out, see what's going on, be like, okay, give me the lowdown. What are we dealing with here? That was purely in a professional context. I think we can all agree on that. And to cast aspersions and to say, him being on the list over 50 times is indicative that maybe he was paid in child cooters.
It's literally the same thing as, Jeffrey, he called Domino's and had pizza delivered to the island 50 times. Are we going to implicate the pizza delivery driver?
Right. There's guilt by association.
Yeah. It's poisonous.
I was just going to say, I think it's interesting that, a man who has been in the media for defending African-American and Jewish clients is now being targeted by the right-wing media for this crime.
It's true. This is a good point. Well, it's not just the right-wing media. It's everybody who doesn't want to look bad right now.
Right. It's like, I'm going to throw you into the fire so that I fucking, don't get burned. Meanwhile, they don't realize that that's just going to make the fire grow and it'll reach them too. It's self-defeating in a way. So next on the list, Orion Thaddeus Chadwick. Okay. And then next on the list, Stephen Hawking. Are we really
what was that one before Stephen Hawking?
Look, it's really not important.
That's true. Let's just keep moving.
It's really not important.
He was a nobody.
Look, yeah. He probably only went a couple times. He was just he's a journalist. He probably was just trying to see what was really going on there, just trying to hang out on the beach and, do reasonable stuff. Let's not cast aspersions, people. Come on. As a journalist, it's important to protect other journalists, including myself. So we have Stephen Hawking here. Are we really going to come down on Stephen Hawking for going. Like Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
Come on, man. This nigga was beyond paralyzed. Like, he was so paralyzed that, like, he can't even move his mouth.
Yeah. Prove to me that this man's penis worked well enough to abuse underage children.
Where else is he going to get the highest quality adrenochrome known to man? Where else?
Well, obviously it doesn't work very well.
Huh?
Yeah, obviously it doesn't work very well, you know?
Well, okay, imagine this, though. Like, he was so far gone that, like, there's no permanent fix. But imagine, like, he goes to Epstein Island, he gets, like, literally the highest quality, organic, non-GMO fucking adrenochrome, fresh off the tap.
Ethically sourced.
He takes a shot of it, and then for, like, 6 hours, he can be a normal person and just, like, walk around and, like, you know, do push-ups, just fucking,
Oh, no.
you know, lifting weights. I don't know, like, what can you really blame him if, like, that's what went down? Like, I'm just trying to put out hypotheticals there. Plus, is there
That's
really
reasonable.
a power differential? Like, I feel like he gets to shave 1 year off age of consent because he's, like, literally like a sack of potatoes in a wheelchair. Like, what's the power dynamic, you know? That bitch
And
could
you gotta
beat him up.
consider, yeah, and you gotta consider, you know, if I'm locked in a room, if I'm a child, right? If I'm locked in a room with Stephen Hawking, like, well, what's this guy gonna do? You know, like, I'm not in any danger. He's more in danger than I am.
Yeah.
So they probably consented a little bit, at least a little bit, you know?
Well, you know, I don't want to.
The kids probably just did whatever he wanted for him because they felt bad for him.
Yeah. That's not a crime. You can't, what, is it a crime to make people feel sorry for you and give you sex and fucking take me to jail?
Yeah.
Beep boop bop. If you don't suck my wiener, you'll end up like me. Beep boop bop.
Hold on. Yeah. Serious question for if a child rapes somebody who's an adult, what are the legal parameters for handling that situation?
Depends on race.
That's
I
beyond
guess.
my pay grade, dude. I don't know, man.
We asked the hard hitting questions here, though. I mean, it's
Yeah, the hard hitting hypotheticals. I don't think our legal system is even codified that.
no, exactly. So maybe we're yeah. That's another reason. I'm just saying it's possible that that's the scenario that played out there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Stephen Hawking's a victim here.
It could be. It could be. You know, we just don't know. Like the journalist said on the TV, like they said, just because he was on the list doesn't mean he did anything wrong. So just keep that in mind, people. Just because someone's on the list, like David Copperfield, you know, this guy, David Copperfield. You guys know who he is?
Yeah, he's that magician guy.
Yeah, famous magician. And he's what the Chuds now consider to be the #1 king of diddlers. Is this what I'm to believe? Am I to believe that he's over on the island like, oh, abracadabra, and now I'll make your virginity disappear, alakazam? Is that what I'm supposed to fucking... No, give me a break. Give me a break. Obviously, he was hired as the non-child rape entertainment, which is probably why most people went.
Yeah, I could see that. And maybe, you know, he was there to cheer up the kids. Like, hey, you just had like a really, really bad session back there. Let me do you a magic trick. You know, pull a quarter from behind your ear and make all the boo-boos go away.
Oop, got your penis.
Yeah, it's for like morale, you know? Like, if I got raped and there was like a buffet or something, you know, I'd be like, okay, well, shit, I'm not going to kill myself.
You gotta take
at least
the
not
good
until
with the bad.
you get your fill. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm dying with a stomach full of fucking steak.
Yeah. You know, maybe I got raped, but at least maybe I got child raped, but at least there's some king crab legs there.
General,
You know,
Tso's
1
chicken.
star for the rape, but the food was a 5-star experience, you know.
Next on the list we got Micah Goldbergstein.
I never heard of that guy before.
Yeah, no relation.
No, not that I wouldn't suspect. But I'm sure he had a good reason to be there, like all these other people.
Yeah.
A perfectly justifiable, non-pedophilic reason to be on the island.
Right. And look, we're jumping out in front of these
And participate in Moloch worship.
Well, you can worship Moloch without the child sacrifice, right? Is that a prerequisite?
Hold on, let me look in the manual real quick. Hold.
Yeah,
no,
it's-
you can. You can.
Sometimes, you know, I'm sure it's like some Christians go to church and drink the blood of Christ or whatever the fuck they do. And some Christians just practice at home, you know. Some people go to the Moloch Island or whatever Alex Jones saw. And, you know, and drink baby blood, and some people just worship privately.
Exactly.
Yeah. And maybe sometimes you just like pour some wine in the glass. Like you don't go to church and drink like, actual Jesus blood. You have some fucking $5 wine from Trader Joe's in there. It's perfectly reasonable to assume. And look, me and Micah were jumping out in front of this. We're saying, hey, look, were we mentioned dozens of times each? Yes. But that doesn't mean that we're guilty of a crime, okay? I have not been charged with a crime. Micah hasn't been charged with a crime yet, okay? So let's
I've been
just
charged with a few, but unrelated.
Unrelated.
No children were harmed in these crimes.
Right.
Just dogs.
I mean, unless you count like the drunk driving crash that one time. But yeah, it wasn't in a weird way,
It was a painless death.
Like, what am I supposed to do? Just notice that it's a school zone? Jesus.
You want me to fucking read like some nerd?
Yeah, I was driving too
I was
fast.
seeing double.
How was I going to notice?
So we have, lastly on the list, a notable name, Michael Jackson. And of course, they're going to lump in Michael
That's
Jackson.
shocking. I can't believe that.
We all know he's been framed for his whole life for these sort of things. Framed. So this is what I'm to believe. This is what the chuds want me to believe. That he not only brought children into Neverland Ranch, but
Which
then
was a paradise. Which was a infantile paradise.
Right. So he brings these kids there, rapes them, and then he's like, I haven't had my fill yet. And then he flew to Epstein Island for second service. This is what the chuds want me to believe. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. I'm not buying it.
It was a strategic addition, I think if I was a normie and this list came out and they didn't have Michael Jackson, I would immediately call bullshit, So I think that was smart to add his name on there.
Yeah, I mean it was
they
smart
probably
pick.
just wrote it, and some clerk probably just wrote it into the margins, thinking it would be funny.
Yeah, it was
It'd be
probably
a funny joke.
Just like with
fake
us,
name.
probably a goof.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna go rape kids in an island, like, what's a funny name to put down? Michael Jackson, And then this prank 20 years later turned into all this for the poor guy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Disrespecting the dead, Stephen Hawking, Michael Jackson, getting them swept up in this. Just let them rest, for God's sake, And so I guess here's my takeaway from this whole scenario that's unfolded. It may sound like that we've been attempting to sweep it up, that we're trying to just downplay this and make it seem like, it's not what it seems. But actually, it's the chuds who are evil, and actually, we're seekers for justice and truth. That's what we are as journalists. And while I would love it if everybody got caught and every pizza shop in America got raided, and we could all hold hands and sing Kumbaya, we have to be careful not to let mob mentality win. This is very important.
Yeah, I think anybody who's honing their focus in on this issue and calling it out and making a big fuss about it, I think you should take a step back and look in the mirror.
Yeah, exactly. Very cogently stated, Mike. Jeffrey Epstein was a monster, and then he killed himself, and it ends there. That's it.
He died by suicide, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, he killed himself, and it ends there. That's it. End of story.
Yes, the suicide may have been assisted, but that doesn't negate the intent.
Right. There's no reason to keep poking around trying to take down innocent people who just wanted to party on a cool island with other electronic and non-electronic celebrities. There's no reason to keep doing this. It's over. It's done. So let's just move on, people, okay?
I agree with that sentiment.
Let's just move on to Alex Jones versus Destiny. That's one person who's
now that's
on the
exciting.
list. That's some real content. That's what you really want to be paying attention to right now. Destiny was actually the one person on the list who I hadn't mentioned yet. He was probably actually guilty. We know that he liked to fly out to smash cooters. So yeah, there's a pattern of behavior established there.
Yes.
And so Destiny and Alex Jones, they get in a grand debate hosted by Zero Hedge. It's Destiny and the Krasenstein. Krasenstein brothers, the most like Jewish people on the planet probably, versus Alex Jones, Glenn Greenwald, who called in via Zoom. That's great for a in-person debate to just have one guy on a screen. And I don't know, some other rightoid faggot. But we don't care about them. We care about the big two, Stephen Bonnell III, Epstein associate, and Alex Jones. This was really, from Alex Jones, a masterclass in mogging, a masterclass in domination, pure dominance. To watch this unfold, it was really a treat because Destiny is a slimy faggot snake. And, he thinks if he just talks fast enough and shakes his jaw fast enough, that he can win, that he can overcome. But he hasn't faced anybody so powerful, somebody with such an inner constitution, someone whose God-given abilities for debate and for the word, for spreading the word of righteousness and truth. He's not faced this before. And it overwhelmed him and ultimately destroyed him. I'd like to share that with you, the Gorillas, today, because it was a real white pill moment in this debate on January 6th. Something we need to talk about every year for the next fucking...
Oh, is it time? Is it time to talk about it?
Yeah, it was. They debated on January 6th, about January 6th. I just want to keep hearing about January 6th for the rest of my fucking life. That's what I want to hear about, because it was such a pivotal moment, and definitely not just a bunch of gay retards who were too dumb to bring guns to their insurrection.
Hey, I mean, if you look at January 6th, 9/11, you combine those numbers and 3,002 people died. You got to consider the gravity of that,
I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, it was.
Shit. When you put it that way, that really puts it into perspective. Yeah.
I'd never thought of it like that before. Can you imagine being a fly on the wall when like Donald Trump sees them like all going in there and he's like, yes, my plan's working. And then one of his aides comes up and is like, hey, none of them brought guns. Like, they're all unarmed. He's like, what? What? They didn't bring guns. No. What do you think we're doing? You have to have guns. We're taking this thing over. Why are you doing?
Quickly logs onto Twitter. Peaceful. We're talking about peaceful protests.
No guns.
Just total
No
damage
violence.
control. I mean, how fucking stupid do you have to be? That's how dumb rightoids are. They can never read between the lines. But I'm going off in a tangent. Let's watch Alex Jones absolutely buttfuck Destiny.
And you don't even stand up for the First Amendment. Or
You don't trust the court? Do you trust the courts?
I don't think most Americans do. And that's when you have real revolutions.
If you don't trust the court, real revolution. What do we do in a real revolution?
Kill you.
We're not trying to go there right now.
We are there right now. We just were. It's January 6th.
Listen,
if there was any time to go
don't
there.
worry.
Listen.
If there is one,
where would you?
If there is one, you're going to lose.
Sure.
Buddy.
Okay. We'll see. Okay. Where is Didn't like 4 people dying on January 6th from obesity and meth? If these are the people we have to fight, I think we'll be okay.
Ashley Babbitt, you're dehumanizing her? Was she on meth?
I don't think she was one of the 4 that died from meth. She died from the gunshot.
No, did she deserve to be shot?
She was trying to climb into an area where federal agents were saying, if you climb in here, I'm going to shoot you.
Federal gods?
Federal
if
gods?
it was your house,
I'm sorry,
would you
do federal
shoot them?
agents not have the right to shoot
So
people?
you would have pulled the trigger on her. You like that.
If I was one of the federal agents there and I thought it was appropriate to do so,
job is to
You watched that video?
protect. Their job is to protect
You
the
watched
people.
Just absolutely mogged. Like, Destiny's like, don't touch me, bro. Don't touch me. But he's getting touched. There's nothing he can do about it except slink and shrink and wait for it all to end,
They both made good points here, actually, I think they both made good points.
Well, Alex Jones reached across, touched him in a fatherly fashion, which, made Stephen Bonnell recoil because, he's never done that for his own son because he's an absentee father, abandoned his child in a Nebraskan cornfield. And I think that was foreign to him, actually. I think that fatherly love that Alex tried to give him, saying, hey, you're being a little crazy here right now. Let's all calm down and powwow here.
Yeah, and I think Alex Jones is a little too insane to debate. Destiny's trying to use his own methods, and Alex Jones doesn't have any sense of nuance. He just knows the truth, and he's not going to deviate from that. So anything that's not the truth, Alex Jones isn't going to hear. He's just going to put his hand on your shoulder and fucking break your collarbone.
Yeah, dude. That's the thing is that Alex Jones, I'm so glad that you said that. I'm so glad that you raised to this point. Alex Jones is an arbiter of the truth. He's divinely blessed to do so. Empowered by God to spread the truth. And nuance is lost upon him because nuance is the devil's play toy. Nuance is a tool used to make you deviate from the path of God. Oh, maybe I can consider this other perspective. No, that perspective is Satan's perspective, you know?
Oh, that's a really interesting argument you've made there. Are you going to do anything about me gripping your shoulder? I don't think so.
I said words.
Don't
But
touch
that's the
me.
thing, is, I've seen a lot of straight to DVD movies of Jesus and all that, and he fucking heals people by putting his hand on their shoulder. So I wouldn't be surprised if on his next stream, Destiny announces he's no longer a cuck. I think if anything, Alex Jones healed him.
I do think that, at some
I need to get
point,
close to him.
maybe he did heal him. Maybe Destiny will wake up and say, I'm going to now be in my son's life. I'm going to change my haircut from that of a 12-year-old boy into something a man would actually have. I'm going to stop abusing Adderall to the point where my jaw is shaking like I have fucking Parkinson's. I'm going to get it together. Maybe Alex Jones divinely blessed him and saved him.
I
But
think so.
doubt
I
it.
think a good game of catch from Alex Jones would save him, I think.
You would hope so, but there's a point where you're too far gone, where Satan's energy has become such a part of your soul, in essence, that the release of that would result in immediate death, which is what I'm also hopeful for. Anyways, further on in the debate, Alex Jones, and Destiny, they're talking, and Destiny accuses Alex Jones of actually having murdered Ashley Babbitt himself. He not only murdered the Sandy Hook children in cold blood, he actually also murdered Ashley Babbitt. It's interesting. It's interesting to see how can he keep getting away with all these murders? Who knows? But let's see how Alex Jones deals with that.
Rhetoric like this is why Ashley Babbitt got shot. You realize that, right?
I'm gonna get shot?
No, people like Ashley Babbitt died because of people like you driving people onto this, right? It might be funny for you. I don't know if it's funny for
murdered
them.
Ashley Babbitt?
You're more or less responsible with this kind of talk, yes.
Oh my God,
Yes.
I'm murdering.
Yes, play in a factual world.
You
At
love
least,
the
tie yourself to the ground.
You said
Tie
an hour
yourself to the
ago.
ground.
You said an hour ago that Trump never asked for National Guard. I can show 50 articles. It's on record.
I said
and then
it,
you
he
just
didn't say
admitted.
Yeah, play in a factual world. You're actually responsible for that woman climbing through a window and getting shot. That's the facts of the case. Yeah, that's such a big brain take. You're not in a factual world. That's right. Alex Jones isn't in a factual world. He's in a truthful world.
I agree. And I think, watching this debate and seeing the energy Alex Jones brought, I think Destiny did one good thing in this debate, and that's that he took a bunch of Adderall before and tried to get on his level. I think that's his best strategy. Maybe next time if he took more Adderall, he'd have that same godly power that Alex Jones has.
Right. He needs to step it up. He needs to get into meth. We all see it coming. We all know that this is where it's headed. Just, if you're gonna debate a titan of intellect and a virtue like Alex Jones, you gotta have better tools at your disposal.
I just like the idea of debating Alex Jones in general, as if he's actually going to process anything that you're saying to him, like take it into consideration. Like, actually, let's look into that. You make a good point, or like, you know what, you may like. What are you like? You're setting yourself up for failure. Like, I love Alex Jones, but like, would I get into an argument with Alex Jones? No, I'm not fucking retarded.
He's an unstoppable object. I mean,
yeah.
What are you going to do? You have to be just as retarded to fight him.
And Destiny comes close to being just as retarded. Let's be honest here. Yeah, he has a shot, but he just doesn't have the soul to make it happen. The thing is with trying to debate Alex Jones, like you said, you're not going to convince him, you're not going to sway him, and that's the point of the new style of debate. These internet debate lords. That's the whole point: is to be immovable, to always be right, to always be correct, and to never be moved, to make the other person look stupid, to make the other person look inferior, and hopefully goad them into killing themselves.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note, when I watch MMA and stuff, which I really never do because I'm not a fag, but, sometimes it's not about who has more technique and all that. Sometimes you just got to be stronger. Some fucking fairy like Bruce Lee can dance around making karate noises, but sorry, bitch, I'm 40 pounds heavier than you, and my fist just broke your skull. I think that's what Alex Jones does. Destiny wants to dance around with facts and science and sources, but Alex Jones is a schizo, and that raw strength will always beat Destiny.
Right. It's a rock, paper, scissors situation, and Alex is a type of rock that can crush scissors and destroy paper.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what we got there. Wow, what a show so far. How are we feeling, boys? Do you feel like you're dying like I do? Not you, Creamy Dog Orgasm. You're doing very well. Thanks for helping carry the show today.
That's what I do.
I really don't even know where to start with this next segment. I don't know, like the fucking Jewish tunnels.
It's so recent. It's so big and new and fresh, and we're kind of we're still recovering from the impact,
Yeah.
that this left as it entered our minds, and we were just like, we didn't know what to make of it.
That's the thing, is a lot of times when these things happen, I immediately can see things for what they are. I can immediately concentrate it down to its essence and, cut a promo on it or whatever. But fucking these Jewish tunnels, I looked at them, I watched the videos, and my mind just went blank about from how awesome it is. How much it fucking rules, these Jewish tunnels. Like, I still am somewhat lost for words. So if you're living under a rock, and not the rock that these Jews burrowed under, there's a synagogue of Hasidic Jews in New York, the ones that look like pilgrims. And they were busted. Making an elaborate tunnel system, burrowing deep into the earth to make a based man cave, just a cool hangout space.
Like Hamas, kind of like Hamas.
Like Hamas. And that's the thing. I'm glad you bring that up, because to me, this is a very feel-good story that shows that all men are created equal under our various lords and saviors. Palestinians love tunnels. Jews love tunnels. They live and breathe tunnels, both these groups. And that's something I came to the conclusion of about this whole conflict, in Israel, is that, you think, oh, they're fighting over Israel and like the land there. And I realized they're fighting over the tunnels. That's what they really want. That's why Israel's so pissed that they're occupying these tunnels. They're like, no, those are our tunnels. Give them back. And so any two-state solution that we implement, given that they both love tunnels, has to include, separation of these tunnels as well. We can't just have one side take the tunnels and one side take the land occupying above the tunnels. That's not going to work. And that's a nuance that's lost upon us Westerners.
I just don't understand why they're not willing to admit that it's a love of tunnels that's driving them, because it's, obviously they have been reached out to by the media, and I believe the synagogue, they responded by saying that it was to make room because they somehow ran out of room in the synagogue, and they needed to expand that room to include God knows how much square footage of space under blocks of New York City residences and streets or whatever.
I agree. I think if anything, this should be considered.
How many Jews are there?
Well, it's like a cockroach. As you see one Jew, there's probably like 1,000 more in the wall. Didn't want to go there. I held out for about 50 minutes before I went in that direction. But I think in all seriousness, I think this is an opportunity for good PR for the Jews. I think a lot of conspiracies about the Jews lately have been sinister. If you want to put them behind Epstein's island or, 9/11 or whatever you want to say, I think they should really lean into how silly this is. You say, oh, no, we're not like evil Jews. We just do silly little plans. We're like Dr. Doofenshmirtz, We're just silly little guys digging tunnels. And
I'm going to dig a tunnel that runs off.
Yeah, then whole, having slumber parties with our mattresses under there, we're just... telling ghost stories.
I just don't understand why they're gonna not just give us a straight answer. I can't believe these Jews just wouldn't give us a straight answer. Regarding what's what they're doing here.
It's very uncharacteristic of them. And, but I do empathize with the fact that they won't, because a lot of people, they're just jumping immediately to, oh, this is for like child rape, or like this is for trafficking.
No, I don't even unironically believe that. I don't.
Yeah, people are jumping to these conclusions when it's like, bro, tunnels are just cool. And I think it is actually in the nature of the Jew to dig tunnels. I have a personal story that can relate to this. I had a friend, in high school who was Jewish, and we'd fallen out of contact for a while. And one day, I get a message from him. He wants to come out to the compound and reconnect. I'm like, sure, man, that would be cool. Well, come on over. And so he comes over, and in this time that we had last contact, I guess that he had developed a little bit of a methamphetamine habit. And so he's all twacked out, and his instinct was to bring a pickaxe with him and start trying to dig a tunnel on the property. Like, he literally, like, instinctually just wanted to make a tunnel. Like that, because meth brings you to your most base instincts, right?
Right, yeah.
It brings you there immediately. I'm not even kidding. This is a real story. I can actually go take a picture of the beginnings of this tunnel right now.
It manifests differently for different people. Like my first time on amphetamines, I had a very powerful urge to stand on top of a table, of a dining room table. Like I just needed to do that. Like I just needed to be on top of a table, high up in the air. So for Jews, when they're high on amphetamines, it is this urge. Or just Semitic peoples in general, just they need to dig tunnels.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think digging tunnels or, standing on top of high stuff, that's all human nature. I know personally, I did a bunch of Adderall once and I beat off for 8 hours straight. And I think that kind of falls into the same human instinct.
Yeah.
Right. If you're an anime fan, that is probably your natural human instinct when you're on amphetamines. But it's the fact that, we can't fault people for having, natural instincts that are derived from, their genetics. We can't fault people for that. And to try and castigate them as criminals for doing this, as ne'er-do-wells for doing this, it's just wrong. I would like to play the video of when this tunnel was initially found. What led to all of this, to the harassment and bullying and frankly anti-Semitism that's become so prevalent after this tunnel release. So I'll go ahead and play that. It's important. This is an unedited video.
Tunnel snakes rule!
Now, you watch that. Can you imagine if that guy did not have a camera on him? If he didn't have his phone on him and he's just like, I saw Jews coming out of the tunnels. Can you imagine trying to tell anyone about that? You'd get thrown in an insane asylum.
Yeah. No, it's well, I actually did see a couple tweets talking about this. If I can try to find them, because one of them made a really funny point. And apparently there were several people talking about it beforehand, before anybody knew what was going on. There were people saying, I hear Yiddish coming from under the floorboards. I hear Hebrew speak, and I can't explain from where. They're having like schizophrenic hallucinations about it. And no, there was a very valid explanation, is that there are literal Jews crawling around underneath your home.
I gotta fact check this real quick. I saw that it was fake. I hate to hit you with a mostly negative, but that was
I gotta stop you right there. We would never air or talk about anything that's fake,
right,
or made up.
What about the Holocaust?
So I mean, you can fact check all you like, but at the end of the day, we're gonna cut it from the video.
Yeah, we're not gonna look.
You're speaking the truth. Doesn't matter about the facts. The truth is the truth, and that's what God told you.
Exactly.
Can you imagine if you're like a turbo chud and you're just hearing like Yiddish in your floorboards and you're just like, bro, I need help. I need help. I need medication. This isn't good. Like,
that's probably what it's like for Nikkei.
Yeah. He's like, I knew it. And it's like, well, that was in New York and you're not in New York. So, I don't know, buddy. No, they tunneled here too.
Yeah.
So, I also have a video of one of the cops, one of these racist cops who shut this down, who shut this whole affair down. And the way he speaks down to these Hasidic chads, it irks me. I don't like it. I don't like how he's talking to him. But I do have an interesting thought about him in the situation at hand. So I'll give that a go.
Do they know? I don't know. They know. Because there was a guy wanted to go out. They know. There was a guy wanted to go out. They got It says no already. I want to clear the whole shoe out. Whole shoe? Why is that? They want to fix this tonight. And to... Why? We need to expend something. Not like this. Not safe. We don't do that in America.
Isn't it interesting that this fucking Italian ass cop is in there,
like,
and he's the most
talking down to him.
stereotypical fucking racial token out of the entire fucking synagogue? There's a synagogue full of Hasidic Jews, and he's the most stereotypical guy there.
Hey, whoa, what you doing digging all these tunnels in my city? Whoa.
Oh, we don't do that here in America. It's like, fuck you, dude. Like, who gives you the right, Who
I don't
gave
trust
you...
guys
Yeah,
like
show
that.
me the ordinance. Show me the statute that says, show me the law that declares that the Hasidic community can't tunnel wherever they damn well please.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta consider any guys like that. I think they're faking the accent. They're hamming it up. He knows he's on video, and I think that's a load of shit. He doesn't talk like that.
You think anybody with that accent is faking?
Yeah, because no, God doesn't hate anybody so much he would give him that accent.
I think you're right. I think he's hamming it up. Like that type of guy is like, oh yeah, I'm Italian, and then he just like that's his whole identity. That's what he is. Like that guy, particularly these types of Italians from New York, New Jersey, fucking the Northeast, as it were. These guys are so racist. This guy is so much more racist than even I am, or Micah is, or even Nike. Like this is like the final boss of racism. That type of Italian guy, and you can see it in his sheer disgust that he says, these words to these guys. That he talks down to them, saying that they can't have their cool tunnel. Go back to Israel. It's basically what he's saying. It's disgusting, man.
I was going to say that I think it's xenophobic, go back to your own country and all that. Obviously, if we got the kind of Jews that dig tunnels, I think that's the cool kind of Jews. I don't want the Jews that's controlling media or fucking putting gay porn in my suggestions.
Yeah, the cop's probably a hypocrite too, because he's probably one of those free Palestine guys.
Right.
He doesn't care if he doesn't mind Palestinians in their tunnels, but he's gonna stand in the way of the freedom of American Jews, people who are comrades, fellow citizens. He's not gonna respect their rights because he's got these racial and religious prejudices.
Right. It's
real
just
and true.
Real and true, and it's tough, to watch that in my own country. I thought we lived in a post-racial society.
Society.
I'm not gonna do it. My throat hurts too bad. Society. Yeah, no. So we have one last video here, and it's, this is basically Derek Chauvin too. This time it's personal. The way that they treat these mostly peaceful protesters, just wanting to secure their tunnels and secure their rights to exist, and not be replaced. That's what these Jews are trying to do.
This really is an issue of existentialism.
Right. So I want to play this video showing the police brutality that's taking place here. It's sickening. Viewer discretion advised. This is mostly peaceful. My God, man, the humanity. Now,
Jesus Christ, Orion. That was probably the most graphic piece of media I've ever seen.
Dude, like he used his pepper spray basically as a knee on the neck of these peaceful protesters who just, wanted to secure their tunnel that they dug, by the way. They did the labor, unpaid labor, emotional, physical, and, all they wanted was to take one last look in. They weren't attacking the cops. Were they giving him a couple hugs? Maybe. Yeah.
I agree, and I can't wait to see how Pepsi parodies this. I think they're going to make a good stance on it in their next commercial.
I hope they use the little Jewish song.
Hand him a Pepsi.
Yeah, I mean, didn't
From
Fanta
the tunnel.
was a Nazi soda, right? And then Coke bought Fanta. I don't think Pepsi hasn't done anything anti-Semitic, have they? I mean, Mountain Dew is kind of anti-Semitic by nature, but
Pepsi needs to take a stand on this issue.
yeah, I don't know what to think without Pepsi. I'm kind of still waiting on Pepsi to hit me back up and let me know.
What do the corporations think of these Jewish tunnels? That's what I'm wondering.
Will any of these Jewish tunnels be receiving sponsorships?
Yeah, I mean, we can make a profit off this. I mean, if anything's Jewish, it's making a profit off this. So let's put some advertisements in those tunnels and make some money.
What's interesting about this particular breed of Jewish is that, they aren't like the banker type of Jewish. Like, these guys literally just have like 10 or 15 kids and then collect neat bucks. Like, did you know that? Like, that's how the Hasidic Jews operate. That rules, dude. Like, these guys should not get fucking cast in with, with these other groups of Jewish people. It's
that is a good point. A lot of people fail to make the distinction between these groups. Like, yes, they're weirdos, but they're mostly harmless.
They're based weirdos, dude.
Yeah.
But you got to consider, as a hardworking, red-blooded American, whether my tax dollars are going to Israel or some fucking tunnel in New York, they're still taking my fucking money. So they're either way. That's the biggest problem.
I would rather my money go to the tunnels in New York, though.
Yeah.
That's fair. But the welfare maybe isn't necessary. The 10 kids, I know they're trying to like pump up those numbers after the Holocaust, but I think that's a little overkill.
Well, bro, like, I don't know, man. Like, us white neats, I'm not a neat, but I know some white neats, and what do, man? They don't pump out kids. They don't dig base tunnels. They just goon on Discord all day.
That's true, but I'm black, so I wouldn't know. But
if you're gonna be a neat, you gotta read cool scriptures, cool ancient texts, dig tunnels, fuck fat, frumpy, fucking Hasidic Jewish ladies. Like, these guys are living the neat dream, in my opinion.
In my experience.
Busted.
Oh no!
I caught out work today, bro. Sorry. Yeah, my Reddit mod subreddit got shut down, so I didn't have to go to work. Is that what it was?
I've been found out.
Shut it down.
Yeah, let's shut it down. Let's shut it down and finish out on one video that really, to me, this video, it proved that racism is bad. Like, look, I've been a casual racist for most of my life. Not a hardcore racist, more of a kind of like lean back against a fence post and like sip a beer and then just, say nigga, but not the hard R, like casual. Keep it cool and casual. But this kind of convinced me that, despite my prior leanings, that we are all the same. Black, white, Chinese, Hasidic, Jewish. Like, this is what this episode has taught me, really. That we are all the same. So this video is going to hammer that point home, and I'm proud to share it with you all because it's a real learning experience.
The moonshine is blue. You speak an unknown language.
They ain't like we just not like what we just did. It won't be the problem.
It's in your soul. You can do this. You will, baby. You can try.
I don't care who don't like that. We don't get no right. All right. Long we go, hey.
And now, what a beautiful video. It's beautiful. If you've not had a night where you're drinking some fucked up liquor concoction with the boys, you're all standing around singing Lynyrd Skynyrd in the parking lot.
I'm pretty sure that's what people used to sound like before the Tower of Babel.
Yeah, you know, it made me realize watching this. You know, if you haven't done that, first of all, you're either a liar or a giant fucking faggot with no friends. But if you have friends, if you're a normal guy, you know, you're just like these Nubian kings. You're just like these guys. You're just chugging and thugging. You're hanging out on the porch. You're blasting some Leonard Skinner. One of the boys is rambling incoherently and stumbling around. It's usually me. You know, like, just watching this group dynamic at work, it really convinced me that there's only one race, and that's the boozers race, my friends. The human race.
Yeah, no, I respect. I respect the level of incoherence. You know, I personally have, you know, gotten that drunk many times, and this video really humanizes them to me. You know, that and the raping. I do kind of agree with that too, but this helps too.
There's two types of human beings. You know, those that abuse alcohol and other people.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to. You know, if you're not a boozer, I just want to put it out there that you're an agent of Satan. You know, you're not of God's light.
What are you trying to prove?
I mean, alcohol is a potion from which we derive our sense of community, our sense of culture, of coherence, of familiarity. You know?
Oh no, I mean, I was talking to the people that don't abuse alcohol.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
What are they trying to prove?
What are they trying to prove? Like, oh, I don't need alcohol to have fun. Yeah, I don't either. I need it to live. Like,
yeah, I don't need gay porn to jack off, but guess what? I'm still gonna jerk off to gay porn.
I don't need to go onto an island, an island in the Pacific and mess with children. But
yeah,
I don't need to do that.
We wouldn't. we wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
we wouldn't do that. You know, we just go and appreciate, you know, the natural beauty of the island itself, and you know, maybe enjoy some fine cuisine and culinary and some booze, some nice booze.
Engage some culture, you know.
Yeah,
you can go ahead.
Some culture, you're right. And with that, I think that's all I really have. Creamy Dog Orgasm. Oh, you know, I'm kind of sick right now, and just saying your name like kind of makes my stomach churn. It's just gross.
Thank you.
Do you have anything that you want to say? Anything you want to bring to the table?
You know, I had a few things, but I feel like they'd be forced, and if only half this community is Arjama adjacent, you know, I won't get into it. Just know that I have blessed y'all's presence, you know, and when this podcast is unearthed thousands of years from now, you know, that this is the starting point for me. And when I get famous, I'll do my best not to forget you, but I probably will.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm glad you could use us as a launching point for your electronic celebrity career.
Your, Creamy Dog Orgasms.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going mainstream any day now. The Creamy Dog
It's a good name.
Orgasms.
You know what? It's a good name. I'm sorry, but I think it's an excellent username. Because 99% of usernames you glaze over, right? If I see someone's username, I don't read that shit. It's fucking boring.
Oh, I'm sure you're glazing over a lot of things.
Yeah, I do. On all fours, right? But I think most usernames fucking suck, and they should be eye-catching. They should be in all caps with underscores.
Have you consulted with your family about this decision?
You know, let's not get too personal with this. You know, I think that they're better off not knowing my online shenanigans.
That you went on the Grillcast. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I might get canceled if they found out who I was in real life.
I'm gonna seek them out and send them this video and say, "Are you proud of your son, Mr. and Mrs. Creamy Dog Orgasm? Is this what you wanted?
Yeah.
What did you do to this
is
guy?"
my father's name.
Well, anyway, thanks for coming on. You've been harassing me for about a month to get you on, and I've never had anyone show so much enthusiasm to join the program. So, you know, we gave you a shot, and I think you did an okay job. You did okay.
I'll take it, you know.
Thanks for coming on. Mike, any final words?
No, please let me rest.
All right. And
one thing. Anybody here is on our drama, please give me all of your drama coin or just a little bit. I keep getting banned. Vote for me on our drama user of the year. If you don't go on our drama, then don't come on the website. You're probably a fag. But if you do, please give me drama coin. Thank you.
You know I'm gonna win user of the year, right? Like I'm kind of locked for it.
That's not fucking happening. Who are you?
I have the votes right now. I have the votes.
You have the upvotes, bitch. All right, that's fucking nothing.
All right, and with that, look out for that big project coming in March, people. Peace out, my Grillo.
I'm old as a boomer. My mind said on Zoomer. Everything cooler, long as I'm not Laura Loomer. If you think I'm not number one, I just spell that rumor. Hit the victory royale on some motherfucking cool. Gucci. Default dance on a bitch. Hit the default dance on a bitch. Floss dance while I'm flossing in a whip. Victory royale when that chopper hit. Self-incrimination, I have no participation. News keep asking, I don't say shit. You can't have my
Do you think they bought the us being sick thing?